What's all this about the McMillions heist? A fast food monopoly fraud unraveled. Jerry Jacobson's scheme and its downfall. Most everybody can think back and remember the McDonald's Monopoly game, promising instant riches hidden under peel-off stickers. The prizes ranged from minor wins such as hamburgers and other food items through to electronics. But the real money was to be won with the major cash prizes or luxury cars. The highest prize was $1 million. What if we told you the game wasn't entirely random, and in fact there was 0% chance of winning during the first 10 years of the competition? Well, that's what today's episode is all about, uncovering the man behind the scam and how he did it. From guardian to thief, enter Jerry Jacobson. He had aspiration of becoming a Marine for the United States Army. However, after several unlucky injuries, he was discharged from basic training. So, joined Florida's Hollywood Police Department, but a year later became injured and was highly incapacitated, suffering partial paralysis. After this, his wife accepted a new job offer in Atlanta, Georgia as a security auditor for the accounting firm Arthur Young. Soon after, Jerry was made an offer with one of Arthur Young's clients, Dittler Brothers. They printed scratch tickets and stamps. They needed a good security officer, and Jerry, with his background in police and military, appeared to be the perfect fit for this role. 2 years after the move to Atlanta, Jerry and his wife separated. Jerry excelled in the security role with Dittler Brothers, and soon he was put in charge as head of security of the production line and a co. Incited that Dittler Brothers had just secured a massive deal with McDonald's. Due to their association with a Simon Marketing who McDonald's had engaged to organize the Monopoly promotion, in order to print all of their newly founded Monopoly game tickets. This was a massive deal for the Dittler Brothers company, easily being their biggest contract to date. It also turned out to be a very important role for Jerry, as he was now in charge of the security relating to printing 500,000 tickets. This involved printing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for 3 months. The printing process was manned by low-paid workers, and with potentially millions of dollars at stake. The big prizes had to be assured as being secure and tamper-proof, so Jerry had the winning pieces sealed in a vault with dual entry combination locks. And Jerry Jacobson personally supervised the sealing of the major prizes. Ironically, as it turned out, Jerry was paranoid regarding security and would do things like following employees to the bathroom, check their clothing and shoes before leaving the print facility, and the like. So now came a dilemma of how was it going to be arranged to securely see to it that the winning tickets would make their way securely to McDonald's stores all over Canada and the United States. It could not be entrusted to courier or mail services, as this was not truly secure. Simon Marketing came up with the solution: instead of entrusting outside companies, keep it in-house. Therefore, they recommended that Jerry personally hand-deliver the winning tickets. The offer of this new role came with many perks. All expenses paid travel, an increased salary, every flight was first class, every hotel stay was luxury. Seemed to be the best deal ever for Jerry. However, this was to become the start of a massive scam orchestrated by Jerry. So in 1989, his insider access turned sinister as he began pilfering the most valuable prizes, building a network of accomplices. So how did he do it? Jacobson, entrusted with transporting the sealed envelopes containing game pieces, used airport layovers to concoct his scheme. First of all, he had to make a test to see if it would work, so he slipped his stepbrother Marvin Braun a game piece worth $25,000. He wanted to see if he could get away with it. After Marvin cashed in the winning piece, several weeks elapsed, and no one was the wiser. Jerry now concluded this was the way forward, so now he had to find a wider field of non-family. His plan was to sell the winning pieces for far less than the redeemable value. To start off, he approached his local butcher, who was also a friend. He sold him a $10,000 ticket for $2,000. The deal went down without a hitch and was redeemed for the $10,000. However, by pure coincidence around the time it was redeemed by the butcher. In an unrelated incident, a McDonald's employee was arrested for stealing 3,000 Monopoly tickets. This made McDonald's change tact, and they completely changed the process in production and transportation. Now the tickets were to be handed out from a secure roll at each McDonald's restaurant. And as a result, Jerry was no longer engaged to deliver the winning tickets. From Jerry's point of view, because the tickets he had sold were unlikely to ever be traced, he was away scot-free. But this meant all the travel perks were gone, and it was back to being just the chief security officer role at the factory. That is until 1985. At this point, McDonald's changed the security system. Changed again by securing the tickets in tamper-proof rolls with anti-tamper seals and now attaching the winning tickets to drink cups. So, they engaged Simon Marketing to devise a computer system to randomly select winning stores. So, the new system came to be established. However, there was a massive fraud at Simon Marketing, and it was not orchestrated by Jerry. Rather, it was upper management within Simon Marketing, because they saw to it that none of the major prizes were ever allocated to Canada. They had rigged the software so that prizes over a certain value would never be won on Canada. Jerry came to be aware this was happening. Clearly, this was a terrible deception for Canadians. They played a pivotal role in funding the competition with their purchases, yet they could never win big prizes. Clearly, Simon Marketing hated Canadians. But Jerry used this to advantage. With this new knowledge, he knew he could leverage that if he ever got caught. Then, by accident, a supplier sent him a full set of tamper-proof seals for the game envelopes. Jerry had followed how secure the new system was and discovered there were no checks and balances. As things progressed, Jerry was once again engaged to deliver the winning tickets in the new tamper-proof rolls. The tamper-proof system was trusted so much no one ever checked, other than Jerry himself. So, Jerry went back to action. He approached his local butcher a second time with a stolen 200,000 game piece, the deal being Jerry gets $45,000. He advised the butcher to use a relative out of state to Maryland so as not to raise suspicion with the butcher having won twice. But the butcher double-crossed Jerry and only gave him $1,000, saying, "What are you going to do about it?" Knowing Jerry could not call in the police, I guess there is a con on every corner. More than that, the butcher ignored Jerry's advice and claimed the prize himself, even appearing on television accepting the prize. However, no one made the connection. Remember Jerry's paranoid nature back in the early days at Dittler Brothers? Well, his paranoia returned, and he wondered how he was going to avoid a similar situation next time. The answer came to him by chance while waiting between flights in 19,905 at Atlanta Airport. Jerry struck up a conversation with a Mr. Gennaro Colombo, a Sicilian raised in Brooklyn, New York, who bore an uncanny resemblance to Al Capone himself. Turns out he was a member of New York's infamous Colombo Mafia family, and when Jerry started revealing he worked with promotional gaming, Gennaro was intrigued. Soon, the thought dawned on Jerry that here was the perfect outlet for his game pieces. He had no shortage of cash, operated many nightclubs, casinos, and betting rings. They stayed in touch, and by November of 1995 a plan was hatched with Jerry handing Colombo a winning game piece, which was for a Dodge Viper. Gennaro Colombo accepted the prize, but instead of keeping a low profile, appeared on television accepting the Dodge Viper. Soon after, Jerry was introduced to the family and discovered Gennaro's wife Robin was entrenched in a typical mobster-style life with all the trappings. Jerry now became dubbed as Uncle Jerry. Now the family started distributing the tickets, firstly Robin's father, who accepted the $1 million prize. Each time Jerry allotted winning tickets, he would receive his fee for each one. Over the next 12 months, Jerry met many family members and associates and distributed many tickets, for which the recipients would use the proceeds to fund their criminal enterprises. By now, Simon Marketing had acquired a great reputation due to the perceived success of the McDonald's campaign, and acquired contracts for other major companies such as Mars Incorporated, who ran a similar campaign centered around their M&M's product. The deal was if you found a gray one, you won a $1 million prize. Yes, you guessed it, Jerry had rigged this too. He stole and stored the one and only gray one in a plastic bag Gennaro's fridge. And that was a near disaster, as Robin was looking for a late-night snack, and nearly consumed the $1 million gray M&M, had it not been for Jerry who had kept an eye on it. Soon after, a family member redeemed it for the $1 million prize. Around this time, Jerry had gifted his stepbrother Marvin Braun 3 more tickets, one of which was a $1 million prize. However, Marvin did not need or want the prize, instead giving them away. By 1998, Jerry was by now very well off, having remarried, had multiple houses and cars, but the association with mob life had rubbed off. He now wore expensive suits, hung out with powerful Italian associates, moved into a well-to-do Lawrenceville, Georgia residence, took expensive cruises, and collected exotic cars. He also became donned as Geraldo Constantino. However, Jerry was discovering that money doesn't buy happiness and was feeling lonely and bored, and by now, after 3 years of being married to Gennaro Columbus, Robin confided to Jerry she felt cut off from her friends and wanted out of mob life. She confessed to Jerry she was cheating on Gennaro. She soon was freed through tragedy when Gennaro was killed in a car accident. Following this, Jerry's connection to the family wavered without Gennaro's influence, and so sought a new outlet for his ill-gotten prizes. It was while on a Royal Caribbean cruise that he met Don Hart and his wife. Hart was considerably wealthy, having sold his large trucking operation. In order to gain trust, Jerry gave him a $200,000 game piece. However, Hart confided he didn't want direct involvement instead, opening doors for Jerry to distribute game pieces through Don's associates instead. As it turned out, Don's new associates were nowhere near as trustworthy or business-savvy as his old the Columbus family had proven to be. One of these people was a convicted drug trafficker, Andrew Glom. Nonetheless, Jerry still wanted to continue to offload tickets somehow, and this was the way he saw to do that. This carried on until March of the year 2000 and seemed to be okay for Jerry. By now he had offloaded over $24 million worth of McDonald's prizes. None had been exposed as stolen, and the watch guards such as Simon Marketing were far too busy with expansion to see this happening right under their noses. It came apart eventually through Chinese whispers. You know, as soon as one person knows, they tell 3 more, who tell 3 more, and soon numerous people know. And so it was an anonymous tip that was passed to the FBI anonymous tip line that ex-mobster wife Robin and her father had illegally won McDonald's prizes, and it is Uncle Jerry behind it. Although the tip was anonymous, when you consider the terminology Uncle Jerry, and that Robin was part of the mob, it seems likely the family was involved in the tip-off. Perhaps being disgruntled that Jerry has now stopped supplying them tickets, and perhaps disgruntled also that Robin wanted nothing further to do with the family after the passing of Gennaro. Of course, now the FBI was involved. This became a major investigation, and the House of Cards was about to collapse. They assigned 25 agents across the country and tracked thousands of phone numbers recording numerous calls. The investigation took until 2001 to catch up with Jerry. By tracing winners' locations and uncovering inconsistencies, they zeroed in on Jacobson's operation. By now, they had a mountain of evidence stacked against Jerry, and McDonald's were well aware of the scam going down. The FBI brought things to a head with the help of a final sting operation, involving a new monopoly promotion where they delayed the payout for 2 major prizes, which got the culprits phone each other and on tape, and the FBI had all the evidence. As soon as news of the scam hit the news, Simon Marketing was blindsided. They struggled to understand how their highly esteemed chief, of security who checked previous employees' shoes and bathroom breaks could have ended up so devious. Their share price immediately plummeted from just over $3 a share down to 19 cents per share, and their reputation was dead. Following Simon Worldwide's security director Jerome Jacobson and 7 other company officials were arrested by the FBI, charged with embezzlement of $13 million in ill-gotten gains. McDonald's then promptly ended the 25-year relationship they had with Simon Marketing and established litigation for damages. And pathetically, Simon Marketing tried to countersue McDonald's, and then the parent company Simon Worldwide went out of business. McDonald's CEO Jack Greenberg then set up a special competition as a way to try and garner support for their client base, whereby a total prize pool of $10 million was to be given away at random by a random prize patrol, giving away a $1 million prize on the spot. Jerry would have rotted in jail had it not been for his best-kept secret. Remember how he retained knowledge of the how Simon Marketing stopped Canadians from ever winning a major prize? Well, turns out it literally was his get-out-of-jail card. As a consequence, in return for his relinquishing his paying $12.5 million in restitution and supplying testimony against Simon Marketing, Jerry received a 37-month sentence. During the ensuing trials, more than 50 defendants were charged with various crimes such as mail fraud and conspiracy. There were a variety of outcomes, some receiving jail time. Others were successful in overturning the charges on appeal on the basis Jerry deceived and coerced them. In all, over $24 million in prizes were stolen and redistributed by Jerry Jacobson. He still lives in Georgia with second new wife and is still paying off the $12.5 million court-ordered fine.
Thank you for listening. Please join me next time when we will delve into another episode.